Okay, looks like we're live. Are we? We not appear so far. Oh, there we go. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love, the collaborative channel of myself, Chris J. Hempill, and Lisa Flamino Rush, among others. We hope that the channel will eventually grow to include many more. The way I kind of see honestly, anything I get involved with, uh, like this, is of a community type nature. And what I mean by that is if one feels in any way, shape, or form a desire, a pull, a push to share things, um, it is my, hope that, you know, that you find an outlet. And if you don't, and if you feel called to come and share, just, reach out. Conscious Conversation Central at gmail.com is the easiest and quickest way to get in touch with me. But any and all of us can be reached at knewlightstreaminglove at gmail.com as well. So, well, we have nobody here just yet, and I already did a collective reading for the day. So, hmm, what can I do while I wait and see? Oh, maybe I could share this on my channel, or not on my channel, on Facebook, and just let folks know that I am live now. Come join me. There we go. Okay, so the way this works, I guess maybe I should go ahead and type that in the comments. Let me see if I can get this voice to text thingy to work while I'm waiting for somebody to show up. And here's the deal. If nobody comes, then I'll just shut it down. Usually, it just might take a minute or so. Okay, so to participate, simply ask for a card. I will put your name on the list, and when I call your name, it will be your turn. The way this works is that I don't take questions. Actually, I better not put it that way because if I do it here, I can't pin it to the top. I need to do it from the laptop. So bear with me just a moment. And now, now why can't I? I should be able to type in there. Hmm, there we go. Oh, yay. I see some folks have showed up. Sorry. I was just trying to type a little thing here that I can pin to the top to tell everyone how this will work. I see that there are three folks in the chat. So I can't type and speak at the same time. So let me just share with you how this works. Um, what I'm actually doing is asking y'all to help me hone my intuitive abilities. In this way, I can get to the point where I can focus myself to hear my inner voice. This is why I don't take questions. Honestly, I'm 63 years old. You ask me a question, you run the risk of getting grandma trying to give you advice. But if you ask for a card and you hold your question in your field, then it can be rather surprising what happens. After, when I call your name, then I will step into your field. I'm asking my larger, greater self to communicate with your larger and greater self and bring forth messages for you. Um, Most often, it will not, questions like, when will he propose and things like that, generally, I don't get. For me personally, and I think that has to do with my own personal inner focus. My inner focus is actually on getting to the truth of who I am, who we all are. And so I've noticed that usually that's what comes forth. So, for the four folks that are here now, would any of you like to participate? If so, just say, I'll take a card, or yes, please, I'll take a card. And what I do then is put your name on the list, and I just go down my list. Does that sound like something that any of you would like to participate in? Mm, hot buttered clove tea, highly recommend it. Now I know that there's a delay too, so I'll wait and see. Because if no one wants to participate, then there's really no point in being here. Let me see if I can. I do want to put that in there because I mean, I don't have a problem answering questions because you may or may not get the grandma giving the advice, but it's a crapshoot because honestly, I know that eventually I'd like to be able to get to that point, but at this point in my own development, uh, the whole point of this exercise is for me to develop my inner voice. And see, already two folks have left. So that's apparently that is not it's not what folks usually do, I suppose. But again, I've never made it any secret that um, this is really more for me than it is for anybody else. I know that sounds a little weird, but I always feel like if it's helpful to someone else, then it's a win-win situation. So, no takers yet, huh? Everybody just gonna hang out and see who goes first? Okay. Um, okay, so we'll just put it like that. And let me see, is there a way to pin that? I think I can. Yes, there we go. At any rate, there's no charge for anything. Of course, I don't charge for Well, honestly, anything that I do, because for me, it's all about developing my discernment, my inner voice, and moving from there. So, still no takers, huh? Okay, well, I'm gonna play around and oh, hello, James. How are you? James, did I miss? Were we supposed to meet? Is there something I've forgotten? Rainwater, hello, welcome. Um, oh gosh, James, for some reason now all of a sudden I'm feeling like I might have missed a time or something that we set up. I don't know. It's been a little wild and woolly for me around here. Um, we've been hot and heavy on it trying to find a new home. Seeing how this one's got some issues. Okay, so I felt for some reason before I started, I felt to grab these. I had started collecting like little charms and things like that uh, to put in a bag to pull out, similarly to, cards and things like that. Hmm, wow. No, nothing scheduled. Thank you. Ugh. All of a sudden, when I saw your name, I was like, oh my gosh, did I forget an appointment with him? I really am looking forward to the next edition of Dreamspace. Whenever we can gather some beings to talk about the dream space. Rainwater, if you're still here, being new to the channel, and me in particular, um, when I had my other channel, Conscious Conversation Central, I had started a segment called Dream Space because for the longest time, I just had this feeling that the dream space is nothing like what we think it is. It can be a place where we work out our psychological issues. Yes, I think that is a possibility, plausibility, potentiality, but I think it's so much more because it is only the physical body that needs rest, not the rest of us. That which animates the body doesn't require rest. And James is a longtime viewer who has joined me on in that endeavor of the dream space, sharing his some of his experiences during what he calls night travels because he's very clear that he's going to other realms. So I see that we have more folks that have joined now, and unless I've missed it, no one has asked for a card. So since there are more folks, I would just say again, I don't really take questions at this juncture because I'm really trying to work on hearing my inner voice. And it's a good place to work on timelines. Well, I love that. We were just talking about timelines and I've had a couple of items turn up missing again. I don't know, James, if you were aware, sometime last year for a specific amount of time, I want to say about a month, this book, you gifted me this deck, right? The deck was here, but the book was not. Now, I keep all of my tarot books right here, my oracle books right here where I can get at them. My cards are there, the books are there, and it wasn't there. And the cards were, so it's not like I had taken them out of the house or gone over to a friend's house or anything like that because I hadn't. And then I don't know, about a month later, I just said, well, it'll come back when whatever's going on. And then about a month later, I noticed it was back. Um, and so as I've been going through some things here in the room to prepare for the move, I noticed that I have two other books now for different decks that I have the decks. but the books are gone. And it's so very interesting to me because, again, I know for a fact that I haven't taken those books anywhere. I haven't done anything with them. They just up and disappeared. Okay, so there's 5 folks in the room, and if nobody asks for a card, we're basically just sitting here watching me squirm. I hope that's not what this is about. Maybe I should do an overall energy card for the evening. Is that something that sounds about right? I don't know why these came out, or why I was nudged to pull them. But I did notice, okay, so this K has a 5 on it, right? And I happened to notice that I had 5 candles over there. I don't know if that means anything. Oh, you'll take one? Okay, awesome, James. Yay! Thanks for saving me, James. Okay, so I'm gonna sit here and get into your field a little bit, okay? The minute I said that and took a drink of my tea, I wanted to do that rocking thing, which usually means starting something new. Something new has initiated in your field. Now, I don't know if this is something. I'm also feeling a little swirly up here, not like dizzy, just swirly. Um, hmm. I mean, other than the rocking and the swirly, your field feels calm, and I'm not surprised by that. Having knowing you and having seen you and spoken to you in the last 2 weeks, that's sort of your MO, as you know, um, just overall calm energy. Is there anything else in the field? All at once now, when I asked that question, I got this, it looked almost like, I want to say snow or sleet, or it's not like it's highly visible, but like, I don't know, I just had that impression. And again, I don't have any clue what that could mean because, I mean, I know you're in Minnesota. I don't know what your weather is like there right now, but usually, sometimes, when I'm shown things like that, it's a metaphor for something. That's a new one I've not been shown before, so I'm not quite sure. I know it was coming in sort of it wasn't straight down, it was sort of, like at an angle. So I have no idea. I have an EMF shield hat on. Okay. Well, I wonder if that's what I was picking up. That's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Huh. Okay. So what deck wants to come out and play? Well, what I heard was Starman, of course, which is very interesting because I don't think there's only been 1 or 2 other times where you've been present for an intuitive hangout session, and I don't recall the deck wanting to come out for you. I'm feeling it's either the first or second time. So that's a whole stack, so we don't want that. Okay, we'd like to have a jumper for James, please. The Starman Tarot. Oh, this one. Okay. Ooh, the high priestess, which, you are so very intuitive in your own right already. The high priestess is, for my money, the most intuitive in the deck. The magician, he makes things happen, but for me, the high priestess is usually the one who can tune in to her surroundings, to other beings. Oh, and this one has a very interesting, hmm, I'm seeing gold, like gold uh circlets. I can't call them bracelets or anklets because of the way they circle around her like mid calf, but it's not a boot. And my attention is drawn there. So what does that mean? Something in regards to grounding? I'm not quite sure. There's a lot going on in this card, that's for certain. So I feel like, well, I guess it's kind of unfair because I already know that you work with timelines, but there's so much information and light bombarding this being, right? And as you can see here, she's not perfectly aligned with this light right here, which is is the by far the brightest and the most intense incoming stream of light. Oh, and now for some reason, there's a reason that she's sitting offset like that. That light could be coming from somewhere else, and she wants to wait and use her own discernment. So she's not allowing it to come directly into her. I don't know if that makes any sense to you at all. There may be something that you have come into contact just recently where there's a question for you in regards to what do you actually think, feel, see that has to do with this information. It may be something that kind of niggles at the back of your mind, right? It's like, and if this hasn't happened already, it feels to me like soon there will come something where you go, oh, that must be what Sheila was speaking on. This happens to me all the time where there's information that comes in. Some of it I jive with and it rings truth or it feels correct in my body. But there's also some part of it that I just kind of go, no. And I used to throw out the entire thing based on that one little niggling. But what I now feel with all of me is that each of us, and this is, because of what happened with me and the whole channeling that Corona was going to go viral, and I thought it was my channel. I mean, I was just starting a YouTube channel for the first time, and my own guidance is telling me Corona is going to be a household name. It's going to go viral. Well, it wasn't wrong. That was in 2017, and my information wasn't wrong. It was my interpretation of it. And for me, I feel like we all are channeling the divinity, the life force that we are. And it is the ego that then sometimes misinterprets because we all have an experiential filter. So I've learned not to accept everything wholesale. To to and for me, I now train my ears to pick out what is for me and what is not for me. So I'm feeling like this might be part of what that's saying. I have such a deep levels that become accessible late at night. I'm quite sure. Well, like I said, with all of the different information that you've shared with me privately, um, I feel like, but this feels very specific. Like I said, it in the way that this, I'm not sure if that's what I'm seeing or not, but it almost looks like a being is actually aiming this at her. And even though she's not turned that way, I have the feeling that she has offset herself from that so that she still can see it, perhaps make out what it is, but not just accept it wholesale. I don't know if that makes any sense for you, but um, that's what I'm getting from that. Okay, well, James, thank you so much for asking for a card. Does anybody else wish to play? There are six people here now. And if you miss it, or if I can't see whether or not the comment is pinned. I told it to pin, but um, so if anybody else would like a card, I would love to read for you. If not, I guess it's over and we'll all just go our merry way. There's so much going on in the field of late. And now all of a sudden, I have all these sirens going off here locally. Very interesting. Like something big is going on. Could be an aspect of my higher self is trying to align with me. Could be, could very well be. I'm not certain. And that's what, but like for me, like I was saying, it felt like what I was seeing there is that some information that you either have received or you will received feels suspect to you, in other words, is what I feel like. So it may not be right now, but it may be soon. Is it a is it information or, and the reason I'm asking myself if this is information, because there is another being there. And I'm wondering, is it, and it could be something that you will encounter, maybe you haven't yet, but it could be that there's a being sharing information, and some of it you feel good with, and some of it you're not. I don't know if, again, if that's making any sense. Okay, don't everybody sign up at once. Y'all are killing me over here. So I guess I will pull a card for what the energy is going to be this evening, because obviously it's pretty low if nobody wants to. There's such big shifts going on, both inner and outer. Isn't that that is just so true. Um, I know I feel it within me. um, there does seem to be I feel like the era of disclosure is here, you know. I still don't think it's going to be like, because I can't see that it's going to be shocking to everybody. Although there's lots of channelers who keep saying that it will be, even for those who think they know something. Oh, okay. So he does say it's making sense. Thank you, James. Um, Different channelers have said that even those who think they know something will be shocked at what is about to be revealed. And I think that's because, like I said, like I maintain that we only allow ourselves to take in what our psyche is prepared to take in. Ooh, this one? Okay. Oh, we had this card just the other day, the Journeyman. For me, this is very much like the Fool card, which is sort of apropos for what we got going on, yeah? Okay, 7 folks. Nobody's asking for a card. This is going to be a real short evening. Ah, we'd love it if you want to come play. So this is card number 15, and this is twice today. The book opened right at the Journeyman. Okay. Adventure, independence, polishing of skills, and travel. Well, I'm definitely polishing my skills. That's what this whole idea is about. That's what the intuitive hangout session is for. Um, you know, only with the kind assistance of those who tune in. So somebody's got to ask for a card if we want me to stay here. Otherwise, it's going to get real boring in about 5 minutes. Um, all of the great ones, the saints, the bodhisattvas, and all of those who are filled by the spiritual light have been on this journey. They went into the wilderness, stepping like fools off of the safe paths into the waiting hands of their gods and goddesses. This is the journey of life, a pilgrimage that begins in ignorant trust, passes through all of the doubts, fears, ups and downs, probably all of the delusions, and certainly all of the confusions. Through it, we learn slowly, painfully, a new kind of trust, a trust in the process detached from the goal. And for me, it's been a trust in myself, a trust that I can trust what I get. That's part, and I have you guys to thank for that. Those of you who have come here and participated, just like I'm asking you to do tonight by asking for a card, you are so beautiful and wonderful, helping me to hear my inner voice. As a child, I was told that you don't see what you're seeing. You're making this up. Stop telling stories and lies and stop acting like you think you know something because you're just a little girl. You can't possibly, all those kinds of things. And eventually, one shuts that voice down or just pays it no mind. And this is what, unfortunately, we do to our children. I've seen it happen now. I've been present for the moment when that begins with children. And it's an innocent thing that we do. We did, I mean, I did it too. Trust me. Um, however, I feel there is a different way to go about it. Exactly what that way is, we will figure that out. But I'm also quite clear, like this said, through it we learn slowly, painfully, a new kind of trust, a trust in the process detached from the goal, which is another reason why I don't particularly care for the questions, because, then what I'm saying is if I give you advice and you follow it and I wasn't hearing the larger portion of me, I don't know. It's just not, I feel like that's not helpful. It's certainly not helpful for me. And so I can't see where it would be helpful for others. Our young Ojanus journeyman, bless him, is stepping out on the journey of life, positively glowing with enthusiasm. Even his toes sparkle. Bright, handsome, and educated, he has completed his apprenticeship in trade. To accomplish this, he must leave the protection of his master and step out onto his path as an independent journeyman craftsman. He is testing himself and his knowledge in the world. He hopes to eventually achieve the status of master maker. Right now, he knows a lot of facts has all the basic skills, but probably knows less than he thinks he does, which is another reason why I don't want to answer questions. I would much rather a lot more people will be getting their manifestation abilities back. They will gain a greater ability to manipulate their own personal world. Well, I feel you're right. And I would add to that consciously. And the reason I say that is that I suspect that we create regardless, because that is what we do. That's how all of this actually is working. And there are those on the planet who do know that, and they endeavor to distract and direct that focus and attention and the intentions and then the emotions, because all of those things go into materialization, not just manifestation, but materialization. And so, which is why I want to hear that highest portion of me so that I create consciously rather than just off the cuff as I fly, right? Um, yeah. He is about to learn about the skills of survival, bartering, persuading, selling, buying wisely, enjoying life, making friends. At least he doesn't need to learn how to iron his own shirts. Ogenus still has lovely, playful, childlike qualities. An Oracle Online group member notes that Ogenus is playing balance the ball on a stick with the moon, and adds that he seems to have no constraints, sets no boundaries on what he can do, and because he is magical and doesn't set such limitations on himself, he is able to walk on air or water or through the hills, all with this moon nicely balanced, both on his stick and in the sky. Our young Ogenus must learn to care for himself. No one is looking over his shoulder to see if that he does his work right and eats properly. Ogenus may take chances and even make some mistakes sometimes, as we all do. But this is how we learn. And I kind of feel like we can't really make mistakes. Oh, we could label it a mistake if we must. But I've begun to think that that's just a label. And there has, there's lots to be gleaned from that. He is now confronting and being confronted by the real world. Here he will discover that excuses don't buy bread, and that the quality of integrity in one's work and actions are what counts. But he has been well taught and pretty well knows that already. Don't tell him I told you, but Ogenus sometimes wears a false mustache, hoping it makes him look more mature. He has romantic dreams of being a great hero, of becoming the supreme master of his craft, and of winning a fairy princess. Some of these dreams will come true, perhaps even all of them, where here we see an innocent being trustfully walking trustfully into a situation for which he is not fully prepared, and indeed cannot be fully prepared, or for which his preparation is as yet untested by reality. He is innocent of previous practical experience of the path he is now treading or the realm of life into which he is moving. And in many ways, I kind of feel like that's all of us right now. That's why I feel like this came out for the overall energy for tonight. Okay, sweetie heart, thanks for stopping by and asking for a card. I appreciate you more than you know, and I look forward to our next getting together. This card could be called Innocence Encounters Reality, which is by no means a bad thing. His fairy godmother is lurking somewhere, just out of sight, as fairy godmothers tend to do, Her expression is both gleeful and worried. Her hair is already whiter than it was before he began, and she is keeping her wand fully charged at all times. Although this is his journey and he must undertake it himself, almost everyone needs and is given a little fairy godmothering from time to time. Good natured innocence attracts fairy guardians. It attracts helpful beings on all planes and in all worlds. It may also attract those who would abuse that innocence, but as long as our intentions are good, our guardians will offer good guidance. We are blessed and cared for if we allow ourselves to be. The world is before Oginus with smiles and teeth. Oginus has optimism, cheerfulness, magic skills, and a diligent fairy godmother. Oginus grows within us when we step bravely into the unknown, developing our potentials with hope and optimism and an open heart. Well, gee, that is exactly what I'm doing here myself. Hope, optimism, an open heart, and just a willingness to play, really. Um, and unfortunately, it looks like nobody wants to play this evening, so I guess this is going to be it, huh? Well, we'll finish this card anyway. Adventure, independence, travel. A long path ahead, we hope. This card speaks to the need to perfect skills in working and living, but it acknowledges having a sound grounding in the basics. Optimistic, innocent, and willing to learn. Oginus also shows us that intuition serves us well, but only if we pay attention to it. Boy, isn't that true? Sometimes we are operating from theory alone, and our knowledge may or may not be well grounded in reality. That must be why I was feeling that earlier, where um, sometimes you hear things from people, and part of it sounds right, feels right, and part of it doesn't. I feel like that's what this is speaking to. Sometimes we are operating from theory alone, and our knowledge may or may not be well grounded in reality. This card does not necessarily refer exclusively to beginnings. It can also signify a progression along a path, moving into the unknown from the known, a new phase of an ongoing process. Well, that's sure right. Well, good evening, Jonathan Skinner. I I don't know why, but it sounds as though you know me, or maybe you remember me from my other channel, or what in the world? Welcome. I don't recognize your name. Would you like a card? Nobody else seems to be in need or desirous of one. Because quite frankly, if you don't, I guess I'm out of here because nobody's asking for a card. Well, dun, 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 dun. Oh, I could do this if nobody asks for a card. Oh, you want one? Okay. All right. Let's do that. Now, it, if you are new, let me share with you how this works so you will understand what happens. I don't do this without the person knowing how I do it. What I'll do is I'll tune into your field. I call it like I'm stepping into your field because what I want to do is I'm asking your larger self to connect with my larger self and then show me things, give me impressions, um, and things like that. And then we go to the card. So, are you in agreement? Is that all right? Do you mind if I step in your field? I'm going to take it as a yes, since you did say yes. Came across your channel by you reading the Jeshua channelings. Okay, awesome. Oh, isn't that the, I'm sorry, but that was for me one of the most validating texts I've ever read. And I totally feel like it is smack on. And thank you for mentioning that. That is available on both channels in its own playlist. Um, so when I was concentrating really hard on stepping into your field, I got a sensation in the back of my head here. Not a pain, just and not exactly a pulsing, but just something to get my attention to the back of the head. Um, Now, I'll give you a for instance of how this what has happened with me before. My most favorite instances, there's two. One, I was connecting with someone and I started sweating profusely. It was very interesting how hot I got, and we learned that that being was sitting in a hot tub. And then another time, I was connecting to read a card, and oh no, what happened? Okay, I'm not sure why that happened. Something popped up on my screen and it looked like we got dumped out, but it doesn't look like that here. Okay, that's interesting. So this next time, I don't know if it was the same night or not. Might not have been. I was saying that I was feeling pulled this way to the left. I don't know why, but I just felt like all I could do was keep going over to the left. Turns out that person was lying on their left hand side. So I don't know what this means. Generally, when I get new sensations, if it's going to be an over and over and over thing, I also am come to know what that means. This one I do not. So I'm going to go back into it there. Yeah, see, the minute I said I'm going to step back into your field again, I got it again. This time, it actually cause a sensation in my ears, both of them at the same time. Like, um, so I don't know. It sounds or it feels to me like uh, you yourself either are intuitive, you've suspected you're intuitive, you've had experiences with some things, and you're not real certain what you're experiencing. Um, but this sensation feels like well, like some of your innate abilities are either coming online or they're upgrading and changing. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. Okay. I thank you for narrating the book. It means so much to me, and I'm sure others feel the same way. Oh, you are so welcome. I was driven, honestly. I have been made known that I carry an aspect, a small portion aspect of the Archangel Gabriel. And when I feel nudged to record and share something, it is apparently because I am a translator for many. I've come to feel that we all have translators, beings who, when they explain a concept, for whatever the reason, it's a little easier understood by some, not all, because not everybody is a translator for everybody. In other words, well, I'll tell you, I've had this experience myself and my housemate, Lisa Flamino Rush. we've had several experiences where we're chatting with someone about a concept or an idea, something that a being has a question about. And both she and I having the conversation, and the being, for whatever reason, just wasn't ready, wasn't grokking it. And then later, that same being comes back and reports that they had a meeting with someone else, this being over here, and he learned da 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 da. And we both look at each other and now, wait a minute, didn't we both say that? And that for me is a puzzle piece to know that it has to do with timing. Is the person ready? Is because we all think the veils are out there. Mm-mm. Nope, not for me. The veils are internal. We set up our veils, and they will not come down until the psyche is ready to handle it. And when the psyche is ready, that old saying, when the student is ready, the master appears. So when the student is ready, the translator, is the way I looked at it, appears. And they can understand that translator better than they could the other. And sometimes it has to do with familiarity as well for me. Yes, I've had spiritual experiences since I was little. Also, when I launch hard, the back of my head hurts. I'm not sure why. Oh, wow. Okay, well, that's really interesting. And what do you mean by when you launch hard? That's very interesting. What do you mean launch hard? That's I like the way you spoke, and I would tell you the Dreams of Gaia tarot really wanted to come out for you. Um, so if you don't mind, and it's not too personal, I would love to know what you mean by that. Huh. Well, like I said, what I was getting in when I was feeling into that is that this one was that your innate abilities are either changing and upgrading, up leveling, or coming online. Uh, I mean, I don't know what that means exactly, Jonathan. Um, so the eight of water came out. And I got to tell you, Myron, if you would like a card, I'm happy to put you on the list. You would be next then. Um, so bear with me just a moment while Jonathan and I are complete here. Oh man, I said to you that I feel as though your innate abilities are coming online. I would say that's a big 10-4, sir. Um, because you see, I don't know if you can see this here, but that eye is open and it is beaming directly into him. Full moon, full illumination. These activations here. I don't know. I just feel like there's an up leveling happening for you. Okay, so this is actually in the regular tarot and the Eight of Cups, right? Which, speaks to leaving behind certain things and going a new direction, right? But now I take into account the way I feel and the way the card presents to me in the moment. And wow. And the fact that this is even a fellow, okay? When I find something really funny, the back of my head hurts. Oh, that's interesting. And so if you really want to know the answer to that, my challenge to you is ask yourself the question, what is that? And then just get real quiet and wait. You will answer yourself. That's part of what this exercise is for me. That's why I'm so grateful when you guys come here and play with me like this, because this is helping me hear me, that larger part of me that uses everything in my area, my surrounding, the entire universe to get my attention. But if I'm not present and looking for that, I'll miss it. So I would love to know uh, your experience with this and with asking yourself questions because I stand by what I said. I really feel like, um, and if you have not already, and I don't really know, okay, what I'm about to say because I don't think I've experienced a Kundalini awakening. I've read about others who have, but that's kind of also what this suggests to me because all those chakras are visible and lit up, right? It even shows, I know it's not really showing it very well, but it even shows hand chakras, right? And there's lots of energy around that right there. And you see, dolphins are very indicative of frequency. To me, they speak to frequency. I have really grown spiritually, really awesome. Well, I honestly feel like if you ask yourself that question, what is that? What will um what is that about? You'll get an answer. And I would absolutely love to have a chat with you. And if you're free to do so, hit me up. Conscious Conversation Central at gmail.com is my email. And it can be something that if you're willing to share with everyone, we have a conversation about and we put it out. We record it, we put it out. If not, you just want to chat with me, we can do that too. I adore that doing just that sort of thing. So I hope that was helpful for you, and I would really love to hear from you. I'd love to have a chat if you're interested. Um, we did an entire book club with the Joshua channelings. We got together, and it's not like we read it and then we got together and talked about it. We read it all together. And I've read that book now fully, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. And so we'd love to have a chat with you. So hit me up if you're willing. Myron, are you still with me? And anybody else that wants a card, Myron is the last one on the list. Only two, Jonathan and Myron, so far have asked for a card. And if after I read Myron, nobody else asks for a card, then I guess we'll just shut her down and go about our business tonight or tomorrow. Oh, sure. What time zone are you in, Jonathan? In the human design of okay, Myron, in the human design I'm what is called a projector. And so I get a lot of energy from doing this kind of thing because I get to connect with you guys. And so if you are free this evening and it's not too late for you when I finish, I'd be happy to have a conversation tonight because I'm usually pretty wound up. You're in Central. Okay, I'm in the Eastern time zone, so that would work if you were up for it. So stick around, or if you get bored here and you go somewhere else, make sure to hit me up. Um, let's see, how will we do it? I either have to have your email address or we have to become Facebook friends so I can send you the link for Zoom so we can meet face to face and have a chat if that works for you. Okay, Myron, let me. Oh, now, were you here? Did you hear what I said to Jonathan about how this works? Because I really would prefer people understand that I I visualize myself stepping into your auric field and just giving impressions of what I get. And so, oh, you would like a chat too. All right, awesome. What time zone are you in? Yeah, see, my old channel used to be Conscious Conversation Central, and we love those. Okay, yes, I can. So what happens, you ask for a card, and then I ask my larger being to communicate with your larger being. I step into your field, and then I just give whatever I get. I ask my decks who wants to come out to play with you. I shuffle, and then a card. Oh, you're in Central Time too. That's really interesting. Well, if the two of you aren't concerned about, if you want privacy, that's great. We can do it separate. But if you two want to come in together, we can do that too. So I'll let the two of you decide. Jonathan, you're first because I talked to you about it first, so that would only be fair. Myron, I could schedule you for another day. So then I step into your field and I just give what I get and I ask the cards to play. So is that okay for you, Myron? I got to figure out a better way to do this so everybody realizes how it works. Um, okay, so I guess I need to write up something so I can very quickly put it in. It has to be already. Hmm, I don't know. I've got to figure out a better way to do this. Hey, it's all okay, good. All right. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. You got a lot going on in your field. I'm a little bit dizzy standing in your field. Um, I am feeling that vortexing sort of. That's an indication to me that is either rocking indicates something initiating, but vortexing indicates full on in the midst of it. And that could mean all kinds of different things for you. It could mean personally, I feel like the human vessel is being upgraded. The DNA strands are being reconnected in different areas and different beings at different times. Again, as the choices are, because not everybody's choosing to do what I call embodied ascension. Um, So it feels like you've just got a lot going on, and you're, well, all of us have this coming in for us. It's just how much our innate opens our fields to accept. And it feels to me that you're in the midst of your field getting a really good, um, I'm trying to get something specific on that, and I'm really not. It's because it's a little dizzying in here. Um, you yourself don't feel like when I ask myself if you, the ego you, the personality you, um, in other words, I don't feel like any panic or anything, right? Um, how about the body? See, my body starts panicking sometimes when this sort of thing happens. No, I'm not feeling like the body is panicking or anything. Um, yeah, this it's a very interesting feeling because it's going around, but it's also I feel again this for some reason I was being pulled a little to the left, and I'm not quite sure why. Um, are you laying on your left side? That's happened before to me, so I don't know. I just thought I would mention that. Yeah, even as I open my eyes right now, it feels like in a cartoon, like how my eyes were still going around. That's kind of interesting. It's more of my mind, a mind thing. Okay, well, that's really interesting. Okay, so who wants to come out and play for Myron? Okay, well, the Sacred Geometry Oracle wants to come out for you. Um, I'll tell you, Jonathan, if you're still here. Oh no, this is not the sacred uh geometry. This is the relation sacred geometry of relationships oracle is what the one that wanted to come out for you. Um, I think, oh good gosh, I hope this isn't the wrong book. All of a sudden now I feel called to make sure I've got the right thing here. Um, Jonathan, yes, I do. I wanted to say, Jonathan, if you're still there, that there is another book that you might find interesting, both on New Light Streaming Love as well as Sassy Seer Sheila, called Handbook for the New Paradigm. That too is a collection of channeled material. Oh, you're left-handed. Okay, very interesting. Thank you for that. Thank you for telling me that. And thank you, Jonathan, for answering. Yeah, when nobody was asking for cards, I was going to resort to, oh, this one, balance. Card number 12, which 12 is a 3 numerologically. For me, that's the Trinity. And also it is for me, I see, I'm going to say us, all of us, moving from a state of duality to one more of triality. I know that sounds weird, but in duality, it's good or bad, right or wrong, true or false. In triality, it's good and bad, it's right and wrong, it's true and false. And quite frankly, for me, I see where it's a matter of the state of consciousness as to whether or not one can perceive that to be a truth. Um, because we've been taught from time we're eensy beensy that it can't be true and false. There's only one truth. And in actuality, no, there are many truths. It depends on where you are in the spectrum of uh, opening and evolving one's consciousness and whether or not one feels, knows, accepts their multidimensionality aspect. And see, for me, I I feel very strongly that we are all one and yet singular in nature. And the only thing that really separates you from me is this physical vessel and all the years I've spent in it. And all those years has served to shape and form my experiential filter and your experiential filter, which is completely unique to you. There's no other individual on this planet that has had the experiences that you've had. Oh, maybe similarly, but they didn't understand what happened in the same way you understood it. It's an impossibility. It's one of the reasons we all feel so lonely. We want somebody to please understand us. That I have figured out for myself is never going to happen. It's an impossibility because of that very fact. No one can share your experiences, or you can share them, but do they really grok what you mean, what you're saying? I have learned that we all understand language quite differently. So back to this now. You have 12, like I said, the Trinity for me, and its balance, which I also think that's kind of interesting because the number 6 for me is all about balance, love, and harmony. 12 is twice 6, right? Oh, okay. I was just shown something about the 369 in that for some reason. The whole Tesla quote. There's something about that. Okay, so balance. I am balanced, is what it says here. The frequency of balance supports our ability to find harmony with all aspects of our three-dimensional and multidimensional layers of reality. So interesting that I wanted to chat with you about multidimensionality. Balance refers to a state of stability, readiness, or equality in our physical, emotional, and mental states of being. Now that we are becoming more multidimensional and our awareness is expanding beyond the physical layer of reality, we are learning to find balance within an increasingly complex mixture of outer and inner experiences. The outer world around us is in extreme flux, as many established institutions are falling apart or are in dire need of change and upleveling, and our sense of time is rapidly moving from a past, present, future based awareness to a continuous stream of experiencing the present moment. You see, I maintain that time only exists in this realm, in this physical vessel, and even that is actually an illusion for us that, I don't know, in some kind of way we've created that in order to actually experience the creation. That's why I feel like we are the Godhead. I don't know. I've thought about this whole idea of an omnipotent God. And if I was omnipotent, why the hell would I require worship? Hell no. I don't want that. I want to forget who I am and go and experience the creation. So, wow. Balance requires us to know who we are and what we are here to do. Our sense of purpose gives us direction and meaning and helps us to return to a harmonious inner state of being. Even if our outer world does not reflect this equilibrium at times, only when we understand our relationship to the whole can we relax into the infinite currents of life and the ebbs and flows of the cosmos. I really feel like that's true. And I reveal new and more information to myself as my psyche can handle it. So, this image is based on a crop circle design. These intricate designs demonstrate an undeniable fundamental knowledge of sacred geometry, as well as profound creativity and intelligence. Here, they symbolize the inclusion of aspects outside of the common paradigm so that we can find a new state of harmony and balance with an evolving reality and consciousness. Wow, I kind of feel like this goes right along with what I said about your field being very like it's being upgraded right now. That's so interesting to me. Blue is associated with the fifth or the throat chakra, which is linked to our ability to express our needs and desires. Blue is cooling, a mentally relaxing color. It connects us to holistic thought and generates wisdom. Blue is the color of truth. Gold symbolizes abundance, wealth, and power. Four represents the form based world we live in, as does the square. Both represent foundation and structure. The square is rotated so it resembles a diamond, something precious and valuable. And I've actually heard some channelers say that the energy that's coming from the sun, it, I've heard them call it a diamond sun or a diamond frequency. So I just wanted to remark upon that because I find it kind of interesting. And it's a puzzle piece that I don't know what to do with, so I kind of hold it over to the side. And what I mean by that for me, it's like certain bits and pieces of information come into my field, and I don't know why, but they kind of highlight. I don't know what it means or why it's highlighting right now, but I do know that because I've learned this about myself, that piece of information will stay in my field. And sometimes years later, I'll learn something or read something or hear something, and oh, that's what that is. Okay, now that makes perfect sense, right? So, again, I don't know why that came forward, but it apparently you're to know that. Gold symbolizes abundance, wealth, and power. Four represents the form based world we live in, as does the square. Both represent foundation and structure. The square is rotated so it resembles a diamond, something precious and valuable. The swirling circles in the center and in the background represent the part of our origin that is off planet. Balance and relationship. Change is a constant in relationships. Good times are followed by challenging times, followed by weird times, followed by ecstatic times. Nothing stays the same for long. And that's part of the issue why relationships generally don't work, because beings don't really consider the fact that we actually do grow spiritually. And then we want to get all butthurt and mad when one grows at a higher, faster pace than the other. And instead of, like talking and figuring things out, uh, sometimes we run away from ourselves first and then the other. And that happens a lot in relationships. A deep time of no a time of deep intimacy and closeness might be followed with the natural desire to withdraw and detach for a while. Only a deeply anchored inner balance pardon me will provide the most defining untruths that we have been taught, is that a harmonious relationship or a happily ever after union means infinite blue skies and everlasting calm waters. I think that's kind of what I just said. But the opposite is true. A meaningful relationship is the one that weathers the storm and finds a balance in all the different kind of waves, including the smooth and easy times. And isn't that so? I mean, again, because we grow, there's a food for thought here on this one. It says, consider a significant relationship you have. Do you feel there is a good balance? Can you see both of your contributions? How can you bring more balance to this relationship? Perhaps you need more time by yourself so you can focus on your inner balance. Or perhaps you need the opposite, to spend more time together so you can strengthen your connection and sense of closeness. So I'm not quite sure why the relationship oracle came out, but I'll tell you what how I view everything. For me, for me, it's always the larger part of me trying to communicate with the smaller ego, uh, programmed and conditioned me, to stretch my consciousness, to um, coax me out, if you will, to, well, in the case of my ego, to get it to take a seat in the, to ride shotgun instead of wanting to drive all the time, right? So let's see. Myron said, I've been struggling. Wait a minute, let me go back because I think I missed. Oh, no, that's not what I meant to do. Now, how do I get that back? Hmm, okay, that's not it. How do I find the live chat? There we go. Phew. All right. I'm doing this on my phone. My little tablet died. So, okay. Have you heard of Seth Speaks? I have heard that. I have not, for some reason, been drawn to it as yet. I don't know if maybe there's sometimes it's like, well, because I really only move towards that which I feel drawn, because then I know there's something there for me. Um, it's like I am aware of it, and at some point I may be drawn. I haven't been so far. Oh, all a piece of source. Yep. Numbers of the universe. I've been consciously working on being more present in the moment. Yep, that is so. Oh, and Jonathan too. Me three, by the way. I've been struggling with my purpose in this life. I've been meditating and asking for guidance. Wonderful. Oh my God, I'm trying to get over this person right now as we speak. It's sad. I really like them, but we're just not the same level. Well, here's the deal for me. I was in a 28 and a half year relationship. Both of us adored each other. And honestly, I still do. And I'm sure that he does me. The issue was, again, the growth that I was after was not the same as he. I'm very clear that I am the compilation of every experience I've ever had. And which includes some pretty traumatic ones from childhood. And those traumas drive certain behaviors that you know, I personally spent 12 years hovering between death and being just housebound and bedbound. And so that's how hard I was running away from myself. And so at one point I said, look, this is it. I can't take it. I'm a burden to my family. Either take me now and get me out of here or show me the way. And ever since then, I've been being shown the way as long as I remain present. And the way has included asking my people have come into my field to help me with that. My housemate, uh, my other person that we collaborate with here on the channel, Chris J. She was really instrumental in. So apparently that's why the relationship oracle came out, because gosh knows I didn't know that. Because I don't I've never met you. So I don't think anybody else asked for a card. I hope that was helpful for you, Myron. And both of you, if y'all will, because we don't, after I end this here, I won't have any way of contacting you. You can find me on Facebook if you have Facebook. The little circle for Sassy Seer Sheila. Let me see. I'm gonna um, put that in here. The little hello, it's Sheila. When you see this, okay, see that there, guys? That little toroidal field. I use that same. Hi, Richard. I use that same. Oh, you did. Okay. Thank you for that. I will go and when I first started my journey of enlightenment and spirituality, I started having so many synchronicities. I thought I was schizophrenic. Well, because I knew what I was stepping into when this started for me, I was just trying really hard to make sure I didn't miss anything. And I don't know, it's been about 2 or 3 years ago now, but I realized as I was sitting in the parking lot of Walmart one day that my soul, that greater being, had been wooing me for a very long time. And I just didn't know it. But the moment I saw it, I'm telling you, I bawled like a baby. A baby. And it was the ugly cry for real. And it's just, I don't know, it's been such an adventure too, stepping out into the unknown. I'm kind of in psychosis all the time. Well, these kind of psychoses really are not so bad, if you ask me. Jonathan said, same here, Myron. I started seeing angel numbers first. Well, I listen, I want to say, all three of you gentlemen, kudos to you. Do you know how long? Okay, I told you I started Conscious Conversation Central on YouTube in 2017. And most of the folks that would come and have conversations with me about consciousness were female. And I really wanted to talk to some males about their point of view in regards to consciousness. But there didn't seem to be any, at least not in my field, and none that would come and have a conversation with me. I don't know why that is. Well, there is a reason, and I know it now. I carry around a field of transparency because I want to see every single thing about me, who I am, what am I doing here? Why am I here? What's going on? What am I supposed to do? That kind of thing is felt by others. And it makes some people, especially those who are running from themselves, like I was, uncomfortable. I don't even have to open my mouth. As a projector, my aura irritates others' auras who don't feel that same way. So it could be that that was it. Yes, I found my psychosis state are relate to outer and inner synchronicity accelerating in space time. Oh, very interesting. Wow, I just love it. Sincerity and transparency. That's really the only way I that's the only way for me forward now. Again, I'm 63. I'm not really supposed to be here. In other words, it wasn't long in 2014. I was on 14 medications. Five of those were for pain. I was on oxygen 22 of the 24 hours in a day, and I was on my way off the planet. So, yes, I'm glad you asked that question, Myron. What's a psychosis state, Richard? I would love to. I mean, I think I know, but because I could see where I would say that. What's your Facebook contact? It's Sheila Corona, my name, and it's the that little picture of the toroidal field higher up. You'll see Sassy Seer Sheila. I use the same thing there for my profile pic because I think there's like three or four Sheila Coronas on Facebook. So I guess if nobody else wants a card, I feel the need to talk to you. Okay, well, apparently so does Myron and so does Jonathan. And I'm up for it, you guys. I mean, if you guys are all up for it, we can have a conscious conversation right now. I'll hang this up and send you guys a Zoom link and we'll just get in there and start chitty chatting. It's interpreted as a chaotic state of mind where the mind disconnects from 3D objective reality. You know, I had a feeling that's exactly what you meant, and it could. I would like a card. Okay, I would do that. And I will say to you that I feel when folks don't aren't aware or don't believe in spirituality or what is going on here, I think that people get put in institutions that they're actually having a spiritual awakening of some sort. I think. So, you know what I mean? I don't know why that is, but I feel like that's what you may be describing there, Richard. Okay, Richard, I don't think you were here for my explanation of how this works for me. So I'm just going to let you know the way I do this is I just kind of get quiet and I ask well, I kind of set that intention so I don't have to ask every single time, but essentially, I'm going to step into your field and ask your larger being to communicate with mine. And then I just give what I get. And this is a way of helping me hone my own inner voice so that I really do pay attention to, the words that I get and the sensations that I feel. And it's really kind of interesting because hey, dun, 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 stuff actually works out to be, you know, the thing. So if that's okay with you, then that's what I'll do. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and let me know that that is okay. Again, I got to figure out a better way to do this. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm gonna get quiet here for a moment. As I stepped into your field, I'm feeling it's a rocking, but it's a just barely perceptible, right? Like usually when I feel a rocking like this, it's because something new has initiated in the person's field. So this, I don't know if this is telling me that it hasn't actually initiated or it's backing off, which I don't know. I'm not clear on what this is. It's almost imperceptible. Um maybe okay, so I don't know if this is just my rational brain trying to make something out of this. Um but I'm kind of getting the feeling that there's times where um the body um there's something about the when as you go through these things where you're disconnecting, and I don't know if that's something you are doing or it's just happening, but I'm getting this feeling that that's what this is about. And what it means exactly, I'm not sure, because I personally don't feel panic, so I don't feel like the body panics because my body panics. That's basically why I'm feeling that that's not necessarily it. Uh, it's that, or there's something going on with the body in some way, or there may be something that, and it does have something to do with this chaotic state that you shared there where you disconnect, the mind disconnects from 3D objective reality. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. All right. Now, who wants to come out and play with Richard? Okay, for some reason, the hero's dream oracle, the hero's journey dream oracle. Nope, that's not the right book. There, that one's the right book. Wants to come out and play. Okay. Yeah, ever since I decided that I would approach the rest of my life as a quest, the quest for the truth of who I am, why I'm here, what I'm to do, um, and well, because now I kind of feel like I kind of I've got a handle on that part, what I'm here to do, and this is part of it. By the way, there's more, and there's more coming all the time, but this is part of it. Um, It's also to help bring in the new, like, right? I mean, there's always got to be somebody who's willing to get out on the dance floor and do the crazy thing to get the party started. Apparently, that's me. And since I actually have been invited to parties and been told that's why I'm invited, I know that that's me. That's me in the 3D, and apparently it's me elsewhere as well. So, okay. And I've been prepared my entire life for it because, a lot of people don't like to do that because, well, people stare at you when you're the only person on the dance floor. But you see, part of the reason that I was on that deathbed for all that time is that I got all the way up to 490 pounds trying to run for myself. And do you think that anybody could hide 490 pounds? No, there's no hiding 490 pounds. Wherever you go, there you are. They don't make trees big enough to hide that. Oh, thank you so very much. Daryl Stanley, welcome this evening. I'm glad you could join us. Um, yeah, so I've come to feel like moving towards the direction you're drawn, wherever brings you the highest joy, therein you will find your purpose. For me, that never truer words were spoken because what is supported, the energy that is supported on the planet, in my estimation, is completely different as to what used to be supported. Being cruel and mean and, out for what you can get is really no longer supported on this planet. Lies, not supported. Transparency, sovereignty, self responsibility, accountability, that is what is being supported on this planet. And for my estimation, what we are doing when we are finding ourselves and loving each other, that is, in my estimation, the second coming. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, she said it. Because the Christ consciousness is spread throughout all who wish to have a new paradigm. And so the card that came out for you is number 19, which is a one numerologically. For me, that is the I am. Uh, the North Star. Flip your inner light switch. I think that's what you're doing. Holy smokes, that looks like I'm sorry, but that looks like a head and a neck. And right back here in the back of the head, I was told once that this is considered the mouth of God chakra. And up here is about the placement for the pineal gland. Holy smokes, man. No wonder you have this chaotic 3D disconnection thing. That is really cool. Wow. Yeah, see, for me, I'm blown away by how much that looks to me like what you described for yourself as to what's going on there for you. According to Vedanta, Hindu teaching, there are only two symptoms of enlightenment, just two indications that transformation is taking place within you toward a higher consciousness. The first symptom is that you stop worrying. Yep, that feels true to me. Things don't bother you anymore. You become lighthearted and full of joy. Yep. if you ask me. The second symptom is that you encounter more and more meaningful coincidences in your life, more and more synchronicities. And this accelerates to the point where you actually experience the miraculous. And this is a quote by Carol Lynn Pearson. Richard said, I love that card. Through chaos, I needed to learn to not only survive, but thrive. Oh, lovely. I like that for you. You are being shown a way out of no way. Just when you thought your back was against a wall, you're discovering an internal light that illuminates infinite possibilities. At each turn, take a moment to look up and meditate upon your own North Star. In other words, when in doubt, consider what your highest self would do. Ask yourself, if I were enlightened, what would I be moved to do? And how would I be moved to do it? I'm sorry, that sounds like move towards that which brings you the highest joy in each moment that presents itself to you, because therein lies your purpose. Oh my goodness, that is so cool. That's what I hear anyway. Um, wow. As you do this, realize you are a celestial being, woven of starlight throughout the galaxy of your cells, molecules, and atoms. And you have the answers you seek before the questions are even formulated. Travel your path with confidence, joy, and enthusiasm, knowing your life is not a problem to be solved, but a magical treasure hunt to explore by the light of your North Star. There's a dream symbol here for this one. It says celebrity. Dreams of a celebrity are a message for you to shine like the star you were born to be. No more hiding in the wings. Consider a dream of a celebrity as an invitation to confront your fears of exposure, to up-level your boldness, and to allow your star qualities to shine, dazzle, and delight the world. This dream is here to remind you that this day and this moment will only come once. Your life is not a practice run. So go out and share your gifts. Wow, that seems really powerful, Richard. I swear. Wow, what happened? All the guys, I am so jazzed, man. Mostly it's always been females that come. Y'all are paying me the greatest, yes, you may, James, greatest compliment having masculine energy come and show up tonight. There is a mantra attached to this card. It says, I stand in the interstellar spotlight of my life, fully revealing my star attributes. Wow, Richard. Wow. I tried to find you with Sheila, but only a French page appears with eyes as picture profile. Um, you tried Sheila Corona? Because that's the name. Um, well, send me an email, consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com. I would definitely get that. And then if you tell me your Facebook, I could send you a friend request if you prefer. Wow. I hope that was helpful for you, Richard, because I'm sorry, but wow is all I could say. Because I've not used that deck very often, just more over the last few days, and I can't get over how that really makes me feel like what you were describing. You tried it too and couldn't find it. Okay, well, hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna come over here and pull my Facebook page up, and I don't know why that is. It's just so weird. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. I'm not quite sure why it's not showing it to you. Well, I'll tell you something else. Um, Sometimes my email is conscious conversation central at here. Let me put it in here. At gmail.com. Okay. Anyway, with the with this email address, when we were having uh conscious conversations like 2 and 3 times a week, um I would send the Zoom invites to folks, and sometimes they would get it and sometimes they didn't. Sometimes it went into a spam filter and sometimes it went into the netherworld. I have no idea what happens to or why that is, but it happens quite a bit. So I find it interesting that for whatever the reason, and I'm gonna pull up my I'm at my home page on my Facebook so that you guys see. I found this. Um, I guess it was from network TV at one time, but I remembered it and I decided, hey, I really like that. It's called The More You Know there. I'm see, boy, what a okay, Myron, I just got your email. Yahoo. All right. And anyway, so I'm still looking here. Okay, now it has finally caught up. Look at all that time. There is such a delay. I find that so interesting. So this is my Facebook page, as you can see. Okay. And I have a pinned post up here that says I'm receiving a lot of new friend requests. You could see there, this was right after they took Conscious Conversation Central down, and I started Corona Rising. Then they took Corona Rising down. Yeah, oh, Sheila's been the victim of some censorship, which I wear as a badge of honor, to be honest with you. Um, so I don't like using the word victim, but yes, I was censored on YouTube not once but twice, and so far, Sassy Seer Sheila has been left alone. I just found you on Facebook, but they don't letting me send friend requests, but I just sent a message. You'll probably need to see the message invitation. Yes, I have to go in there and do that with it. Oh, wait a minute. So you're an empath. Pete, I didn't see your question. Um, I think we are all empaths to a degree. It's whether or not we are allowing that. Um, I would have said, no, I'm not an empath, not like people think. I am in the human design thing. I'm called a projector, which is synonymous with seer, which is why I chose Sassy Seer Sheila for the last YouTube channel. That's my YouTube channel. This YouTube channel I'm on right now is a collaborative venture with my housemate and another friend of ours. I don't know why it won't let me add you. It says I don't know you. That's so weird. I don't have it set to where I don't, because my page is public. I have nothing to hide, so I don't, you know what I mean? That's so weird. So I will, as soon as this is over, I will go and check the messages. Richard said, yes, you can find me with this name, a profile picture of Anubis. Okay. So interesting. Okay, so again, on the scheme of doing things that you're drawn to do. Um, some time ago, I felt a push, a nudge to investigate an older series called Sleepy Hollow. And my housemate and I started looking at it, and then all of a sudden it sort of fell off, right? Not too long ago, she got the nudge and the push. Oh, we need to go back, and because there's something in there. There's something in there. And there is. There's been a lot in there. I'm convinced that disclosure is happening all around us. We've just written it off as entertainment because that's what, a lot of others among us tell us that it is. Um, oh, okay. That's all right. That's a perfectly valid perspective. I maintain that it's more than that. I maintain because so far I get answers and get communicated with from other beings 2 aisles over in the grocery store. I'll overhear something and it's an answer to a question that I had. I mean, that happens all the time, I feel. So, did I miss anybody else? Lastly, there is all kind of tech bugs around me. Oh my. Okay. Well, I'm aware of that too. But I've decided something. If indeed this is a free will universe, which I feel like it is, because the soul doesn't push itself on anyone or anything. It's a subtle, soft voice that doesn't push. There's no need to be rude or cajole. That's one of the things that my housemate Lisa helped me see. I couldn't distinguish between my ego voice and my soul, right? My spirit, my greater being, higher self. There's so many different words for it, right? And what she shared with me, and I've come to see that this is absolutely so. The soul never pushes, never really speaks above a whisper in many cases, and never, ever is mean, rude, belittling, call you names, things like that, right? So for me personally, I see where there's been a lot of, since the time we're born, misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, incorrect information, outright lie, and supposition, assumptions, all kinds of stuff that we have actually believed hook, line, and sinker because, well, they know more than us. They went to school for that. So they got the letters after their name, which means they must know because I'm just a human and I don't. Oh, how wrong we are when we think that. And I maintain that's why there's been a fever pitch in the out there about misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, incorrect information, lie, because oh my God, that can't we see that all over the place? And I really do feel like it's happening out there like that because we're putting all of it on the table for ourselves in one way or the other. Like I said, I feel like the universe tries in every way to contact and communicate with me. I think I set it up that way in a very real way because I knew I was coming in here blind. We all do. We all know we're coming in here through a veil of forgetfulness, apparently. And I think I've come to feel that I set up multiple redundancies to wake my ass up because I got a job to do here. And that's the only way I can explain a lot of things that have occurred in my life and a lot of beings who I can tell, wait a minute, that being carries the same energy as that being over there. Okay, wait a minute. Well, what was I needing to do over here that I couldn't do with this being? And this being who carries that same energy for whatever the reason, I've been able to work through some things. It has nothing to do with the beings themselves. It again goes back to what I was saying before about translators and where the veils are or are not, right? For me, I hope that made sense. Boy, I don't even know what I said. Well, I don't have, did anybody else ask for a card? I think somebody did, and I didn't write it down. James Davis, you asked for a card. I had the pencil in my hand to write it down, and then I promptly forgot it. James, did you stick around or did you get tired of waiting for me to quit running my mouth? Because, that happens. Mm, I told you guys, remember, I told you guys, I get energy from doing this. And so that's what happens. I sometimes just start clear channeling, even. Okay. Okay. James is here. Okay. Okay, James, did you hear the explanation as to how I do this? Because for all intents and purposes, I'm going to step into your field. I am going to let James be the last card because I will have been here for 2 hours now, and now I have to tinkle. So we're gonna read James, and then I'm going to let that be all for this evening. But I want to say before everybody starts beating feet, um, please do make sure if you are enjoying this and you would like to. Please do subscribe and give the this video a thumbs up. I do understand if you're, not used to and not ready to share this around, that's fine. Again, the channel is not monetized. I'm not trying to get a bunch of, no. What I really am interested in doing is making sure that those that are drawn, that are on the same wavelength, that are searching for, because if I am a translator for them, they'll find me. Let me just say, all those channels that I had, I never once I had everybody's email that wanted to participate, but I still didn't feel called to notify everybody and tell them in an email form because I had over 2,000 subscribers at the time Conscious Conversation Central was taken down. And I always wanted this to be by magnetic draw. I'm not trying to make money. This is really for me. And if you benefit from what I'm doing for me, that's a win-win. YouTube deleted your comment. Oh, okay. What? When? Just now? Really? Oh, with your Gmail address. Well, you know what? Now I know that and I'm not sure why they don't allow video links in live chats, and but just so everybody knows, if you leave any comments on a non-live video and you don't see it appear, please don't think they deleted it. I have it set on the channel, on both channels, to hold all comments until I approve them. And I'll tell you why. Not because I'm trying to hide anything, because I don't want to miss anything. On Conscious Conversation Central, I had about 500 conversations listed. And before I realized that people were commenting on these videos and I wasn't being notified. I didn't know it. I found out totally by accident because, I'm not professional. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm not tech savvy. I know nothing about video production. I don't edit my videos. This is all just me doing just stuff, right? And so that's when I realized, oh, if I don't set it to hold the comments, I'm going to miss it. And I don't want to miss not one word that's said. Okay, I'm going to write that down, Richard, right now, because if I don't, it'll disappear for about 24 hours. Um, and I won't be able to get it back. And then by then, you never know, I might forget because that does happen. And is that pronounced cardinal? Cardinale? And so there is a dot in between both of those and then the 777. And you said at Gmail, right? Oh, I felt it. Oh, I don't feel it was coming from you. Either way, we will reach together, even if texts mess with me. Okay, well, that's why all of that to get around to telling you that for me, this is a free will universe. And I don't know, there's something about that no weapons, what is that? No weapons formed against me shall prosper. That's kind of the way I feel. Okay, I gotcha. Jonathan, let me check. Bear with me, James. I am not going to not. Okay. How do I get, you know what? I might have to wait until I can do it on my phone, Jonathan. Let me see if I can do it and have this up at the same time. I tell you, I'm learning stuff all the time about what I can do. Here's the chats, message requests. Okay, I don't have any. Nope. Wait a minute. Okay, that's really weird. You you guys both, there's at least two of you that said that you were sending me an instant messenger from Facebook, right? It is Facebook request, right? I went to message requests and it's not telling me there's any new ones. I haven't received any message requests since 2023. Um, I don't know what to say, guys. Uh, hmm. We kind of use our free will to give them the weapons against us. Yeah, using tech to interact. I feel like that's a true statement. Okay, so that's just really weird. Jonathan, I didn't get yours either. For whatever the reason, okay, I'm gonna try launching Messenger separately. Yeah, no, and you know what's really weird? On the face, see, I know that Facebook on uh the phone, because it's an app, is different than Facebook on your laptop. And on my laptop, there isn't even a place for message requests. I get a whole bunch of you should join this chat, but there's no requests from new people. Um, Good gravy, guys. I am so sorry. I don't know what's going on here or why. I don't know what that's about. So I spam you a couple of messages on Facebook. Hmm. It's, oh, you mean on my page? Sure. Conscious Conversation Central at gmail.com. I put it in the chat. Just look for the Sassy Seer Sheila comment up there. I put it in the chat. Oh, I don't know. Hey, that's weird. Why did it let me put my address? And this is okay. That's just too weird that it won't let you guys put in any addresses. And yet, huh? Well, I'm not seeing anything on my Facebook page from anything new. And I couldn't, and there's no, wow. Okay, well, I guess I don't know what to say here. This is kind of weird. Hmm. Okay, James. Did you still stick around? I know I asked you that once already. I hope you're still there. I want to thank you guys for coming out. Did you receive a notification that I just liked the post on your page? Hold on, let me see. Yes. Oh, you know what? I get it. You sent it on New Light Streaming Love. That's why. Are you guys sending it to New Light Streaming Love? There is a Facebook page. Yes. Okay. Now I found your messages. Thank you. Thank you, Richard, for saying that and having me go check that like that. I found Myron and Jonathan. Okay, great. All right. Yeah, see, I was directing you guys to my personal Facebook page, not the page, which I should have. Again, I guess I'm just okay. There we go. I'm on Sheila Corona. Okay, well oh, well, I finally saw it's so weird. It said 35 minutes ago, but when I checked the notifications just a moment ago, it wasn't there. So that's kind of weird too. All right. Well, James, don't go anywhere because I promise I am coming to read for you. But I do also want to get this in hand because it's so weird to me. Which post did you say that you liked if you're on my personal page? Because I'm not seeing that either. Because I am on the page. I'm on my page. I didn't get a notification that you liked anything. I went to the notifications. See, there's a delay too, because this says 36 minutes ago is when I received the message from Myron Anthony, right, on the New Light Streaming Love page. Um, but what's so weird about that is that it wasn't there the first time I looked at the notification. So I think it's a little bit behind. Now, if you saw me liking your post, I think you can talk to me. Well, see, that's the thing. I don't see it. That's why I don't. Which post, Richard? Is it the one making the announcement for tonight? Because I'm not seeing any comment on that one. Okay, so there is another with the same name as you because the last activity from her. Yeah, that's why I wanted you to see if you look here, I'm just gonna uh put it's Sheila again here because the little um you see where it says Sassy Seer Sheila, it has my little logo thingy there. That same thing is the profile pic on my Facebook page. Because I am aware that there's a couple other Sheila Coronas. Okay, James, I promise I'm coming right now. Let me get back over here. Okay, so I'm about to step into your field, but I feel like I need to, there's something bothering me right there. I don't know if I'm already in your field. Is there something going on somewhere on your left side, like around the rib cage? Are you, because my intention was to step in your field, but maybe I'm already there because this is interesting. It's not mine because I'm not having any issues. I mean, it's not an issue because I don't feel pain. It's not that. It's just something. I don't know what it is. Maybe you're laying on your left side. Maybe you wearing a backpack and it's hitting you wrong. I don't know. I just it's something like that. I just heard my grandmother's words. Maybe your girdle's a little too tight. Something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but anyway, okay. So I'm hearing a rather, I am feeling, um, boom, 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 boom. It's almost reverberating through my body. And just then, I just now, as I said that, I saw sort of like I want to say DNA spiral is what the first thing comes to mind, but I don't think that's what it was. But it's yeah, just flowing before my eyes, moving like this. So, oh, okay. Now, there was a time in 2017 where when I'd been called to um, be present for I'm going to call it an alleged trial over in Tennessee. And while there, um, I noticed that for whatever reason, when I would close my eyes, I could detect frequencies in varying frequencies. Ooh, okay, wow. That's interesting. I just got a whole wave of energy that came in this ear and about took out the drum and went through right like that. And interesting enough, this energy was coming from that direction too. Now, for me, the left is incoming and the right is outgoing. So you are more than likely experiencing some, whether you're feeling it in your body or not, you're experiencing some very interesting things going on with now I want to rock too. Okay, so that's very interesting. um So I don't know if you may, the reason that I felt nudged to tell that story is that you may now or soon be able to detect visible frequency in the form of light behind your closed eyes when you are in a room. Um, if that's not something that you normally do or you're expecting or you're not even trying, I don't know, but I feel as though, I mean, that that's one reason I felt to tell that story, is that it could be something like that, but it also very clearly is frequency oriented, or what happened with my ear just then wouldn't have happened. Okay, so that's very interesting. Okay, I'll go and check that in a moment. So again, now, like I said, after that, I didn't feel to rock until that happened. So I feel like if you have not experienced either one of these two things that I'm speaking to you about now, you may. And when it happens, you maybe this is letting you know so you don't freak out because some people do. They kind of freak out, especially if it has something to do with the body. And, you know, there was a time when I was convinced that I might be having a heart attack, but my inner said, I don't think so. And lo and behold, it wasn't. So, but I am not a doctor by any means. If anybody ever feels the need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor. Don't not do that. But this is by way, I think, of an explanation of something that if you haven't already experienced, you may at some point. My ears are always ringing. Well, you know what? I don't think there's a being on the planet that's that's not having that, to be honest with you. It used to be that I felt like I was crazy because nobody else was having that. But now everybody seems to be having that. My body is hurting everywhere, but I'm kind of disconnected from it. I'm so sorry. Oh, you think I'm still tapping into you, Richard? Well, I could be, but I ask my higher self to step out of your field. I don't know what I was seeing. Okay, so well, it could be that that's an explanation to you about what it is you're seeing. You're the only one that will know that for certain, of course. And I always tell everyone your mileage absolutely is going to vary because we're all very unique. And there is as many ways to do this, whatever this is that we're doing on the planet. Because I'm personally convinced that we are evolving our consciousness and the planet is evolving, and the only way our physical vessels can stay with her is to evolve as well. And so, not everybody has chosen, by the way, to do this, what this is. So, we will see more and more and more beings choose to go. And that's okay because we've got a really screwed up idea about what death is anyway, in my estimation. And so, you know, I really feel like for you, if, like I said, if you're not experiencing that now, I think you will, James, in a very real way. Okay, so for some reason, my hand is on the Sufi deck, but I'm feeling another one. So I got a feeling you're actually going to get two cards, and it seems like I think the fairies, yeah, the fairies want to come out for you too. Okay, so this is the Sufi Wisdom Oracle, and yeah, this is a Sufi Wisdom Oracle. You agree as well that we're all, some of us are choosing to experience. Apparently, because I've heard some channelers say that this is the first time that this has happened, that consciousness is choosing to attempt to come to the truth of who we are and ascend, for lack of a better word, at the same time embodied on the planet. I don't know. That's why I call it a quest, right? The evolution. Yep. James or Jonathan, I feel there is some similarity in the field. Well, for me, I'm going to tell y'all, there is no way that all of you fellas aren't here together for no reason. I told you. This is the now I've had more guys showing up. Daryl can attest to that because he's been here before. But the fact that I've never, ever had an intuitive hangout session where the only beings I'm reading for are male. Not one female has asked for a card. Anybody else notice that? Because I sure did. And I would like to think that there's a reason that all of you guys are here at the same time. There's something that you guys maybe have for each other, by the way. I'm convinced too that when people are drawn together, there's reasons some we might understand, but all other reasons we don't understand or understand, I should say. When I first considered becoming a BQH practitioner, I wanted to experience a BQH session first. And, I'm 63, I'm disabled, I'm on a very limited income. And so it's not like I could go out and, pay somebody. But I was also hoping that there was a way to do like an exchange or something. So I'm looking around, and there was a BQH practitioner near me. The card that came out for you, flew out in case you didn't see that, is Work of Art. Be the portrait of divine beauty. Ooh. Okay. And there's also, I know you weren't here earlier, James, but I think I was reading for who was it that was getting over the relationship that I felt to do the relationship oracle. It's not coming up. But it talked a lot about the blue, right? Because blue is all about communication. So I'm called to recall that in this moment of now without even looking at what it's talking about. Um, and again, for me, this is communication of you with you, the larger you with the littler you, the higher self and the inner child, the wounded inner child. Because quite frankly, I don't know about y'all, but my little girl, I still have time, she's beginning to come out and work with me, but uh, for me, that's a big part of that communication, establishing that and then trusting that and all that for me is where it's at. So because I was guided to see that blue being connected to the throat chakra and all, kind of interesting too that hmm, all the talk about I received something about the Blue Rose Order a lot recently. I feel there is some link with James over here. It's strong in the field. Yeah, see, I'm telling you, it's very interesting to me that all of you guys showed up here at the same time when I've read for fellows before, absolutely, but one or two, and I don't know that I've even ever really had, I think I've had two guys at a time show up, maybe three when it was still Conscious Conversation Central, but not like this, not like tonight. So they're really, you guys may actually really want to if not through me with Zoom, all of you meet in a Zoom room together. Some of you may have codes and keys for each other. That's all I'm saying. especially Richard, since you're feeling rather some link with James. I never say do it if you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. Don't do it. If you don't feel comfortable doing things, trust yourself. But if there's something drawing you, for me, that's an indication that there's something there. So, James, work of art, be the portrait of divine beauty. Not being able to fall in love with his own beauty, God created a mirror to reflect his hidden grace. That mirror is the heart. Let the grace of the beloved emanate through you. That's a quote from, I guess, the Sufi Attar, Attar. When life becomes a daily repetition of mundane things, weariness seeps in. Physical and mental exhaustion take over and make us forget that our whole purpose in life is to have joy. We can break away from the hamster wheel by letting our hearts mirror the beauty that reflects new horizons and landscapes in life. Dear One Attar appears here to guide you to release familiar routines, stagnant situations, or challenging relationships that no longer support you or empower you. He has brought you the happy news that searching and learning has created the grace for you to be who you truly are. The unseen spirit is guiding you to begin a new cycle in your life. Start doing things in a new way and trust that your life is guided. By following the excitement of your heart, you will automatically begin the process of recreating yourself as if you are crafting a work of art. And I'm laughing, James, because at the end of almost every video or a conversation I have, I say, I hope you will continue to move towards that which brings you the highest joy in each moment that presents itself to you. Because for me personally, why not? It really is only a matter of perspective. The first time I started saying that, I started a couple of people like, we can't all move towards what brings us joy in every moment. We got to make the donuts. We got to make the donuts. But do we? I mean, really, come on, do we? That's part of coming into the whole new paradigm. We're only making the donuts because somebody put an arbitrary thing in that said that their energy was worth more than your energy, and you got to go do X, Y, Z to earn money. Which, when people figure it out, that all you're doing is accepting money for your energy. Well, who decided that this thing over here, that energy was more valuable than that energy? Who put them in charge? And I challenge that in a huge way, which is part of the handbook for the new paradigm, is the exact same thing. And we can't keep doing the same old, because it's no longer supported. There has to be an opening of bringing in a new way. And I say this is actually a huge message to you on a lot of levels, James, that you're about to do that too. I'm open to talk to anyone here. Well, that's quite lovely, Richard. I love that about you. James said, connection to Blu-ray and Sisterhood of the Rose, Venus. Well, no wonder you two are feeling, Richard and James, there absolutely must be a connection there. And by the way, like I said earlier, I carry an aspect of the Archangel Gabriel. And for me, Gabriel is absolutely associated with the blue ray and the throat chakra. And I was told by young autistic child once that I was born a herald. Okay, well, wasn't Gabriel the one that made all the announcements or something? I don't know, but I'm telling you this, if we are all one and yet singular, well then it goes to it that we carry different aspects of all, and we pick and choose what we're going to work with in this. I call our physical vessels a reverse kaleidoscope, because in truth, we have many different parts of us that we can channel at any one given time. And I think we do it rather seamlessly. We just don't know that. We don't give ourselves enough credit for that either. Because again, some arbitrary somebody somewhere decided, no, that's not possible. You're crazy. That's not real. Well, who said? And okay, prove it's not real. Anybody? Well, I really have enjoyed this evening. You guys are fabulous. And let's see, I got Richard's information. I don't, if you got, I gotta go because I gotta tinkle. But I am happy to open a room tonight, or maybe it actually would be better if we scheduled something, unless you guys are up for it. Oh, so freaking loving it. I heard so many times that we are the one, but not that much credit though. Each of us as a part, we are one, but two and one. That's what I'm saying. I actually have had experiences, y'all, that shows me that if I really do feel like with enough honing of the focus and attention, the intention, I feel like eventually I would be able to direct that consciousness and know what I'm doing. Right now, it's sort of happening willy-nilly, and I don't really know exactly who I'm pulling in. Sometimes I can feel it. I have an aspect that is a commander on board a very large spaceship. And sometimes I can feel that commander in my body. And I had a conversation once in my heart space with the commander, and I because I was asking a lot of questions, because I'm like, oh yeah, sure, right. I'm a commander on a spaceship. Okay. You know what I mean? When I first told my grown son that, he actually thought I'd lost my mind. And I don't know, he probably still does. But I now see what it is. I see it for what it is. It is an aspect. If all, and there's been a movie made about this. It's called Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think. To me, that is exactly very similarly to what it is we got going on here. If we are all one, and I really do think we are, and we've focused, because as the omnipotent, how can you bring that focus in enough to try to experience something? The only way that I could think of is to allow an eensy beensy trickle into a physical vessel. Now, my mantra since 2017 really has been more of me into me, because that's what I desire, more of the larger me into me. Well, now I've had some experiences where I know that timelines, other instances of me in timelines that are more parallel, I experienced them rolling up and kind of shaking my body one time. I heard time quake in my head, right? And Daryl said, I knew there was a reason why I didn't ask for a card tonight and let James come in and go. Oh, I love it. Yes, we could work. Well, listen, I said this before and I'll say it again. And I've only had one being who said they were interested. I want to start having more conscious conversations and, you know, because like I said, getting together, figuring things out. Sometimes folks who are drawn together um, carry keys and codes in their fields. I've watched this happen now. Lisa and I, like I said, we were called to go and bear witness. She was called, I found myself accompanying, right? When we went back, I knew I was supposed to go. Didn't know why or anything else like that, right? Um, we both have had experiences where we'll be talking to somebody and there'd be the two of us together, right? I'm talking to the person. The person is looking at Lisa and talking to her instead of me, answering me, but her attention is full on Lisa the whole time. And I was like, okay, well, what is that about? Right? I couldn't understand. We were having, and she was answering me as though she was looking at me and everything. And then it happened with both of us again. And we were checking into the hotel over there in Knoxville. And the clerk was staring at me and talking to Lisa, and they were doing the transaction. But the whole time she's talking as though she's talking to me. And I think that it has to do with, again, keys and codes, especially in beings that don't understand things yet at all. It's like we carry solution around in our fields. That's why, oh, I know who's going to know this. Jonathan, you said you've been listening to the Jeshua channelings. I don't know if you've gotten to the part yet where it talks about the light workers and how, and I've said this for a long time. That's another reason why I felt like it was so validating. We light workers got it wrong. We ain't here to help everybody else wake up. No, that's not how this works. It ain't your job, man. You can't change nobody. You can't tell nobody nothing, especially if their consciousness, their psyche is not prepared. They're in charge of their veils. You're only in charge of your own. And so we light workers, our job is to heal our traumas, to figure out the lies, the misinformation, the disinformation, the malinformation, all of that that we've been told, all those things that go into the untruth of who we are and the trauma that got installed because of it, right? Heal that, begin to heal that, and you carry that around in your field. That's resolution that makes it available. It carves out that path energetically so that the next guy can do it just that much easier. Not that you have to do anything, say anything, or just be you, your unique self. And that works for everybody. When I come in, that's the first thing I do is ask for a card, but not this time. How cool. It's nine. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock here too, Richard. So you're in the Eastern time zone. Richard said, oh, that one hurt, remembering how much I unconsciously did that, forcing the unveiling on others, thinking and feeling at the time that it was for them. Oh, honey, you're not alone. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm so grateful to my housemate, Lisa, because she helped me see immediately as I had already done it, unfortunately, but I was right there. Um, where and had I been paying attention, I would have seen it, but I wasn't. I wasn't. I was not paying attention and I thought I was being helpful and I wasn't. And I further traumatized that being. And I'm aware, so I know exactly what you're saying. Exactly what you're saying. That happens. So Nicole Magnus, hello. I'm doing well. The first female to say hello. I'm so glad that you could join us. Unfortunately, I'm getting ready to sign off because I really got to go tinkle. I've been here now 2.5 hours. So I'm sorry that you missed this time, but I promise we will be doing this again. I am so grateful to everyone. Richard, I have your Gmail and James, did I? Let me go back over here real quick before we disconnect and let me just see. Nope, still nothing there. Um, oh, I got Myron's email because I saw it pop up as a notification in my email. So, uh, Jonathan, did you do the same thing? Did you send me an email or of you fellows, Richard, James, and Jonathan, I'm sure Daryl, you because here's the thing. I'm going to open up a Zoom room, and those who were interested in continuing this after I take a pause for the Toity Bowl Man cause, and get me some more water, then we can, continue the conversation if you guys would like that. Um, but I need to get an email. Let's just do it like that. Conscious Conversation Central at gmail.com. Send me your email and I will send you a link to the Zoom room. And if you do it now, no, I got to tinkle. So if it doesn't work out, I will send everybody another email and we'll try to get it. I will open one tonight for everybody that I've got their emails. Richard and Myron. Did you stick around, Myron? Um, Daryl, if you send me one and you wanted to come, I'm sure you're welcome to. Jonathan, you too. Um, Nicole, you're absolutely welcome too, even though you're brand new here. I don't conversation what? Well, this conversation, really, I guess, what we've been doing. I sent an instant message on your other Facebook channel. Okay, that's right. Okay, that's right. And I will reply back to you there with the link. So, okay. Okay, awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to end it here then. Nicole, please, I hope that uh, maybe we'll take a listen to what we were doing before so you'll know what you're in for next time. And I will be doing a live tomorrow morning. I'm pretty sure I will. I always say I reserve the right to not show up because if I don't feel drawn, I don't feel drawn. Because again, I only do what brings me the highest joy in each moment. And this is not a paying gig. So I don't do paying gigs. So anyway, so I only do what I feel drawn to do. But I do hope that each one of you, here it comes, will move toward that which brings you the highest joy in each moment that presents itself to you. It really is just a matter of perspective. And if we allow ourselves, even in the most uh, horrifying situations or immediate situations, if we just give ourselves a moment to breathe, perhaps step out of one perspective, just take a step over to the left or the right and try to see it from a different angle. And chances are you're going to find another perspective, one that might bring you a higher joy. I know that, not everything is roses all the time. No, but there's always more than one way to see, sense, feel, understand a thing because we make a lot of assumptions about stuff, and if we give ourselves a moment and take a breath we might find that out. At least I sure have. Till we meet again, you guys. Mwah. Be well.